Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Idahoan Show. As you know, if you've been following the weekly updates that I post publicly on Patreon, lately I've been devoting a lot of my time to studying the various parameters that can affect the performance of cast bullets, mostly for .44 Magnum. Now, I didn't film the testing itself because for the volume of testing that I was doing, that would have gotten pretty tedious. Instead, I wrote up a detailed report on my testing, which I expect to be posting on the Reloaders Network and probably also on my Patreon page. But here, I thought I would just give you a brief recap of sort of the conclusions and takeaways from the testing. Now, one interesting takeaway was that bullet sizing doesn't seem to have any effect. I was unable to detect any difference in performance between bullets that had not been sized versus bullets that had been sized versus bullets that had been run through different sizing dies of different, specific sizes. Obviously, if you're shooting a bullet of the wrong caliber, that's going to have adverse consequences one way or another. But, for bullets that were cast in a mold of the correct caliber, I wasn't seeing any effect of actually running them through a sizing die, at least in my testing. Another takeaway was bullet hardness. I got the best overall results with a Lyman No. 2 bullet alloy, which is 90% lead, 5% tin, and 5% antimony. Has a Brinell hardness of about 16. I've heard a lot of sources recommend using an alloy with a Brinell hardness of about 12, something comparable to your old-fashioned lead wheel weights. But I noticed a significant improvement in accuracy and reduction in barrel leading going from an alloy with a hardness of 12 up to an alloy with a hardness of about 16. Beyond 16, I didn't really see any additional improvements. I experimented with a variety of different lubrication methods, both your traditional extruded lubricants, liquid Alox, tumble lubricants, spray-on moly, and for a control group I fired a few bullets without any lubricant. That served only to demonstrate what was probably common knowledge to begin with, that bullets fired without lubricant will produce severe barrel leading that rapidly degrades accuracy. So you need some kind of lubricant, and I found that by far the most effective method of lubricating bullets was powder coating. Powder coating was the only method I tested that actually eliminated barrel leading, at least with bullets of the right hardness. Other methods like the traditional extruded wax lubricants and the lube grooves would control the leading to where it didn't build up enough to affect accuracy, but they wouldn't completely eliminate it. Powder coating, on the other hand, would actually eliminate it. So that was another conclusion of my testing. And finally, I experimented with a variety of different bullet types and styles. I saw just a marginal improvement in accuracy going from semi-wad cutters to round nose bullets, but that was a pretty small difference. I tried making some custom bullet molds to try, some more unorthodox bullet shapes, and mostly what I found there was, while it is certainly possible to make homemade bullet molds, making molds that will cast bullets of comparable quality to even your entry-level Lee aluminum bullet molds is more difficult than I expected. In this test, I was not able to produce a homemade bullet mold that would cast bullets that would perform as well as, my cheap Lee aluminum molds. So those were the main conclusions of this round of testing. There's a lot more testing that I'd like to do eventually, but I'm not sure when I'll get around to it. So, like I said, if you want to read the detailed testing report, that will be posted online. And until next time, thank you for watching the Idahoan Show.